there's still so many things we don't know about diet, and I think the focus really has moved from looking at specific types of nutrients. Like, for instance, for quite some time, there was a lot of focus on polyunsaturated fatty acid compared to, unsaturated fatty acids, and we now sort of, although there's still a lot of interest in those specific types of fats, for instance, there is also a bigger emphasis on larger whole diets, for instance. So, for instance, a eating pattern that someone might be following rather than a single type of food element. So I think that is probably where the biggest gap is to understand if a specific type of diet or eating pattern actually has an effect on long-term outcomes for people living with the disease, but also if certain types of eating patterns can prevent MS from developing in the first place. And I guess in this space, vitamins come into play, and particularly vitamin D is a very key thing to consider when we think around the risk of someone developing MS in the long term. So there's still a lot of unknown things around how these different elements come to play in a specific person with a specific genetic predisposition, as well as exposure to other environmental factors as well. But because diet is one of those things that can be modified potentially, it does take up a lot of attention for people living with the disease.